You know, in Call of Duty Mobile, there's this one tactic that has the entire community completely split. It's a strategy that's so brutally effective, yet so infuriating, that it really blurs the line between being clever and just being cruel. Today, we're going to unpack the whole thing.
So let's just dive right in. We're talking about a strategy that literally takes one of the game's most important features, the ability to save a teammate, and turns it into a weapon to be used against you. Okay, so first things first. To really wrap your head around why this is such a huge deal, you've got to understand the core mechanic of bringing a teammate back in Battle Royale. And it all boils down to these things called dog tags. You got to think of these tags as your lifeline, right? They represent your squad's one and only chance to get back to full strength after a bad fight. That makes them incredibly valuable. Like, these are top priority objectives out there on the battlefield. Yeah, in a perfect world, this is exactly how it's all supposed to play out. It's super straightforward, almost this heroic moment of teamwork. You're risking it all to bring your friend back into the fight. And what's so interesting about this, or what's supposed to be interesting, is that the entire mechanic is built on cooperation, on trust. The game even gives you this satisfying little confirmation. It's a system that absolutely relies on one player being willing to go out on a limb for another. But what happens when an opponent decides to weaponize that very spirit of teamwork, when they use your loyalty, your desire to help your squad against you? Well, that's when things start to get a little dark. So you hear it, your teammate's down. What's your first instinct? Of course, you want to be the hero. You shout out, "I'm going for the tags." You're rushing in to make the save. But that noble instinct, that heroic moment you're about to have, yeah, it's a trap. It's a perfectly calculated, absolutely deadly ambush. And that urge to be a hero is exactly what the enemy is banking on. And this, right here, is the core of tag camping. The camper isn't just defending a spot they just won. No, they are actively, deliberately using your teammate's very hope of revival as bait to lure you into a kill zone they've already set up. And let's be clear, this isn't just some passive waiting game where a guy is hiding behind a tree. Oh no, a smart tag camper, a good one, turns the area around those dog tags into an absolute fortress, a meticulously prepared death trap. An experienced camper isn't just going to sit there and hope for the best. They are going to use every single piece of gear they have to fortify that position and make damn sure you have zero chance of getting out alive. So the first thing they do, they start throwing down cover. They'll drop deployable shields, blocking off all the good angles, and making it incredibly hard for you to get a clean shot as you run up to the tags. And then, when you think it can't get any worse, they bring out the heavy stuff. They'll drop a shield turret. So now, you're not just fighting one person anymore. You're running headfirst into an area that is actively shooting back at you all on its own. It turns a rescue mission into a suicide run. Okay, so here's the really crucial part. This tactic isn't technically against the rules. It's not a glitch, it's not cheating. So why does it feel so fundamentally wrong, so illegal to so many players? And this is the heart of the psychological trap. It's a tactic that preys on your loyalty. It forces this impossible choice on you. Either you abandon your teammate and play the rest of the game shorthanded, or you knowingly walk right into an ambush where you're almost certainly going to get eliminated yourself. The reason it's so frustrating is that it takes a system designed for cooperation and completely twists it into this instrument of psychological warfare. It doesn't feel like a fair fight. It feels like this cruel, cheap exploitation of the game's own systems. And this is almost always the result for the person who tried to be the hero. Not only did you fail to save your teammate, but now you're eliminated too. It just compounds the loss for your team, and often it's the final nail in the coffin for your squad. You know, this whole debate, it brings up a much, much bigger question that really gets to the very heart of competition in gaming. Where exactly is the line? I mean, if you look at it from a purely tactical point of view, you could argue it's kind of brilliant, right? It's smart, it's super effective, and it's a really resource-efficient way to completely cripple an enemy squad, taking out multiple players for the price of one. And this is where the real conflict is. It's where the official written rules of the game just smash up against the unwritten code of conduct that we all have in the gaming community. Just because you can do something, does that mean you should? So that's the big question we're left with, isn't it? In the hyper-competitive world of gaming, where do you draw the line? Is any tactic that isn't explicitly cheating fair game, all in the name of victory? Or do some strategies, like tag camping, just cross an ethical boundary into what we call poor sportsmanship? That's the really complex question, this one. Simple tactic leaves every single one of us to answer for ourselves.